Salutations cyberspace and welcome to the JCal Arts channel, and if you're new here, consider joining the JCal Arts universe. On this channel I do Let's Draws, which are the art equivalent of Let's Plays, where I have a time lapse of a drawing I did and discuss anything related to the drawing and the drawing itself. And if that interests you, click that red button down below and help expand this universe that I have building up here. We're on episode 3 of my Warrior Cats Let's Draw video series, where I draw 3 of my favorite cats from each of the 4 cat clans, and today we're going to be drawing 3 of my favorite cats from side character clan 2, which is WindClan. So let's finally give WindClan some attention they don't get in the books. The first WindClan cat I'll be drawing today is Tall Star, the leader, and he was active during the first and a bit of the second arc. And Tall Star kind of, in the books, is emblematic of how WindClan gets screwed over, at least in the 3 arcs I read, because Tall Star was leader of WindClan when the cats of WindClan were driven out of their homeland by Broken Star, who was the leader of Shadow Clan. And then it's up to Fireheart and Greystripe to help bring Tall Star and his WindClan mates back to their homeland. And then in the second arc, he just slowly dies. And his crew basically needs River Clan and Thunder Clan to give some support. So yeah, WindClan is called a side character clan by me for a reason, because WindClan Cats and River Clan Cats aren't as important as Thunder Clan and Shadow Clan Cats, but I can go on and on forever about that. But we're going to get back to Tall Star. I, in this drawing, wanted to lean into this idea of him just being a charming guy, because a lot of the characters in Warriors Cats seem to like him regardless of what clan they're a part of. Mini refresher for anyone new to the channel, or if you're starting off with this video in the video series, I'm basing the costume design for my anthro versions of these characters on African cultures, and each clan is inspired by different African tribes. And for WindClan, I am inspired by the Maasai tribe as well as the Swahili culture in general in Eastern Africa. And so Tall Star here, I drew him very tall and lanky, living up to his namesake, and WindClan cats are known to be like the tall, lanky, speedy boys when it comes to the cat clans. And he's basically wearing green and yellow cloth. The top part is him wearing green cloth wrapped around this brace or necklace-like thing on his chest, and it's inspired by the Maasai tribe, where the men tend to, take what is simple cloth and wrap it around like their upper half and mostly bottom half in very interesting ways. And I also did the same when it came to the bottom cloth that he's wearing, that's a dark yellow, where it's wrapped around his legs to look like pants, but it's functionally one big piece of dark yellow cloth. And then he's wearing a green cape that is being held together by a pendant, and then lime green shoes that look like the shoes that many men in Muslim countries wear traditionally. I don't know the names of them. You can post them down in the comments section. But I wanted to just pull from the Arab, African influence here for WindClan that I'm going for. And I wanted to make sure Tall Star just get a big glow up here. So I have him, having a smirk and showcasing his little knife that he's pulling out, and, looks like he's moving the cape aside to show you what he's got armed with him. And hopefully this design glow up gave him the justice he seemingly didn't get in the books. We're drawing Crowfeather next. Anyone who's watched the last part of this Warrior Cats video series knows how much I love the second arc, so this shouldn't be surprising, as Crowfeather is the representative for WindClan to receive the prophecy from Midnight the Badger. But I would say out of the main characters of the new prophecy, I have Crowfeather as my least favorite, not because he's bad, but I feel like the other characters leave a better impression to me. And with Crowfeather, having his son Jayfeather be so popular in the fandom, and them sharing personalities that are very similar, moody, wisecracking, sarcastic, I can just see the differences and why I don't like him as much. He has to share the spotlight with 5 other characters, where Jayfeather only has to share it with 2. And so he doesn't get as much time to shine. And then his relationships, his romantic ones, he fell for Feathertail. She died during the journey to the Mountain Cat tribe, and then fell for Leafpool soon after, which he even acknowledges is quite strange. And then Leafpool was an apprentice and he was a warrior, and like apprentices came off as teens to me, and then warriors came off as adults. but then cat ears are weird. And so it's just a bunch of stuff that just makes Crowfeather not as impressionable as the other cats in the second arc, and even his own son, which is pretty funny. His own son eclipsed him in popularity. I use classes to describe the type of, I guess, fighting styles the warrior cat clans generally use, or I see them generally using. And since WindClan Cats are known to be basically lanky speedsters, using Fire Emblem classes, I would see a lot of WindClan warriors being Myrmidons and ninjas or thieves, you know, those high speed classes that are hard to hit but strike very quickly and multiple times even. And so with Crowfeather here, I'm taking the Myrmidon class in inspiration. When it comes to his costume design, he's wearing a altered kanzu. A kanzu is a robe that East African men wear. And so it's lime green where the sleeves are a darker green and rolled up. So he can, you know, sit here and wield his seme that he has in his hands in this drawing. And the seme is basically a short sword Maasai tribe likes to use. And he's also wearing the same shoes and color and style of Tall Star from the earlier drawing recording. And I based the hair off of the WindClan Cats from the Maasai people, because sometimes the men wear a headdress that's supposed to represent a lion's mane, and the headdress can get very tall and very big. And so, you know, I have Tall Star having, you know, the tallest hair, and then Crowfeather having hair not as tall, but still, you know, pretty vertically inclined. And hopefully this design just fits Crowfeather well. The last WindClan cat I'll be drawing in today's Let's Draw is Torn Ear. And I mean, I'm going to be frank, his name alone is why I picked him. Because I have a strong idea of what I want to do when it came to drawing him. But I'm just going to be frank. Torn Ear, to me, feels like an extra. He's just a character in WindClan that the errands can bring up when they need a WindClan cat to be present in the story at the moment. Torn Ear has had many apprentices. He has participated in the battle against Blood Clan and almost got taken out. He lived long enough to be an elder and retire. And elders are basically the old cats who can't fight or hunt like they used to. And he ended up getting taken out in the great battle against the Dark Forest. And the Dark Forest is basically the antithesis of Star Clan, basically cat hell. So one of the cat demons took him out, y'all. So he a real one and laid his life down for WindClan. So I, like I said, have a strong idea of what I want to do with Torn Ear. He's basically going to be the rough, rugged warrior out of the trio of WindClan cats that I'll be drawing today. So I have his ear torn. I believe it's his right one canonically, but I also decided to have one of his eyes taken out or damaged permanently. I mean, let me remind you, he almost kicked the bucket during the battle against Blood Clan, so I'm just going to take it as him losing one of his eyes from that incident. And he's also wearing a similar outfit to Crowfeather, where he has an altered kanzu in a different shade of green. But to play along with that torn, you know, imagery when it comes to his appearance, like one of the sleeves are torn off, and he also has gray stripes, because when it comes to his fur pattern, at least to me personally, it seems to be wildly different. And I mean, I've seen his fur pattern be striped, and then sometimes they have dots in there, and then sometimes the stripes are more elaborate. I just don't know. So Warrior Cats fans, you can give me the rundown of what it is canonically if you know more than I do personally. But I don't have too much to say about Torn Ear. I mean, he's a useful extra, and really, WindClan, to me, is the extra clan, if you know what I mean. Looking back at the drawing of these three cats, like, they look like they live in the woods. Well, I guess it's kind of fitting because the cats did live in the woods at one point, but I guess you can chop up the green to them living on grassy flatlands, because WindClan, that's what the cats are known for, being speedy and living in flat grassland areas. But that's going to be all for today's Let's Draw. For anyone who's made it thus far, thank you for watching. And the final part of this video Let's Draw series with Warriors Cats is going to be focusing on Shadow Clan, aka the bad guy clan, because most of the bad guys come from there. So I will see you in that next Let's Draw video, and thanks again for watching.